Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I just want to talk about my plans for the future. So if you didn't know, I make music. Oh my god. And I want to get people to listen to it, so I got to figure out how to do that, and that's a whole different thing. I figured out how to make music. I love doing that. And now I got to figure out how to be music, how to be a person that people want to listen to. And that's obviously a whole different thing, but it's just as exciting. So, what plans do I have? What is my plan? What is my plan? What is my plan? So, basically, I've been kind of sitting patiently and letting the ideas come to me. And I have this idea. I have a few characters in my music, one of them being Grace, which is a rabbit, and one of them being Mad Mirth, which is a little perverted little puppet, or doll, I guess. And I think they're interesting. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make videos where it's Grace, which is the rabbit, and she's kind of talking to the screen about, like, kind of analyzing Eden Vice's music. So it's kind of like keeping it contained in like this little world. Um, because I think the music isn't enough. I think this applies to anyone. It's not about the music. The music obviously matters a lot, but just the nature of the culture at the time, at the current time, rarely do people just hear a song, especially ones that are more unique or more challenging. Rarely will they hear that and instantly kind of resonate with it. So you need to kind of package it in a way that makes something about it immediately kind of appealing. And a lot of that has to do with vibe and aesthetic. So this is my way of kind of communicating a vibe and aesthetic, that people want to be a part of. People want to see. People will see it and be like, oh, what's this? Oh, this is kind of cool. So yeah, and one of my huge things, or at least my favorite part of the music, is I guess the story I'm trying to tell and the meaning and symbolism I put into it. And I don't think people want to just listen to someone explain their own music. So using the rabbit is kind of like a way to repackage that in a way that, one, is immediately kind of interesting, and then two, creates a world that people want to be a part of, and want to listen to, I guess. So I was going to make multiple videos for each song where it's just Grace and she kind of is gracefully, because I'm, not to toot my own fart, but I think I'm a good writer. And Grace gracefully kind of talking about the song or the lyrics and what it means, and pointing out the symbolism and the connections between songs and stuff like that, and between culture, and presenting it in like a really nurturing kind of nice way, but talking about Eden Vice as like a third person, so it's creating the detachment between Eden Vice and Grace, and I guess me, because I'm not really the artist. I am the artist, but I'm not Eden Vice. I am Eden Vice, but I'm not, like, it's Eden Vice is a different thing. Eden Vice is everything, including Grace. There's layers to this, man. But yeah, that's the idea. And then with Mad Mirth, which is the perverted little doll thing, it's kind of like an angel and a devil. Grace is the angel, and Mad Mirth is the devil, I guess. And I had some ideas where he kind of does the opposite, where he is like all of like the criticisms, and my own inner insecurities or whatever kind of manifested. And so I thought it would be kind of funny to do videos where he's um, basically like talking shit about Eden Vice, or talking shit about the music and like how bad it is, etc. And it also, that's kind of good because it gives a out for anyone who does criticize, because then it can be a part of that whole Mad Mirth thing. Like if someone gives me criticism, I can use that as a video where Mad Mirth is saying the same thing, and it's like, in a way, it's mocking them, but it's also using it to my advantage. Um, and I really like that, I think. Um, and this is my kind of, not that I should really be thinking about this yet, but I also think in the future, if it was ever to become a thing, um, merchandise of these characters could be pretty cool, and I would definitely wear that. I think it could be really interesting. Um, so hopefully I never lose those puppets. So I'll show you Grace. So this is Grace. Obviously like a little cute. It's a little rabbit, and it looks like she's thinking when she does that. And she can fold her arms, and she can look, and she can ponder, and I think it works really well. I just got to figure out what kind of voice I wanted to have, because obviously it's not going to be my voice. It's going to be like a female voice that's nurturing. I don't want to use AI. I feel like that's kind of a cop-out. And also I don't like AI. So I'll probably, what I'll end up doing is one of those like text-to-speech things, like a female voice. The MacBook has some kind of built-in, but I'm not sure if any of those kind of resonate well, because it's got to be a satisfying voice or something that people like to listen to, or can be like immediately recognizable. So yeah, I really like this idea. I think it's interesting. And I also had this idea that some of the music videos for this next album, Eden vs. the Zeitgeist, it can be like a puppet show, where I use these characters, and they're kind of controlled by an invisible hand, which is me. And I could kind of tell stories in a puppet show kind of form, which I think could be interesting. I haven't seen anyone really do that before, in music. All of these ideas I got while I was overseas, by the way, which is pretty cool. Like I bought Grace at a market, secondhand market, so she could be cursed, but I don't think she is. I have another one that looks like it's cursed. Hold on. Yeah, this one looks like it's like low-key fucking evil. Yeah, I don't really, it's kind of scary. She can just sit here. Actually, no, you can sit here. But yeah, that's the idea for that. The next thing I wanted to do is I wanted to figure out the vibe and aesthetic for Eden Weiss himself, because it can't be me. I need to create a persona that is Eden Weiss, that isn't Jamie Ferrugia. It's Eden Weiss. Jamie Ferrugia is the architect, Eden Weiss is the artist. And I think this is important because it plays into the whole myth aspect. I've done a lot of research on this, where when you kind of separate the artist from the person, you can kind of create a more controlled product. Product is a bad word, but you know what I mean. Something that is more contained, that people can identify. If it's me, then I become the thing that people identify. So there could be a scenario where a lot of people kind of, well, where people talk about me or talk about Eden Weiss, but they're actually kind of talking about me. And I think by creating two separate identities, the criticism or the drama or whatever it may be, will be Eden Weiss. It won't be Jamie Ferrugia. If that makes any sense. I think, like, you're probably thinking, Jamie, you have 3 monthly followers on Spotify right now. Why are you thinking about any of this? You never fucking know, man. I think it's important to think about it. You'd rather think about it now than after the fact, and get overwhelmed. It happens all the freaking time. Fame is a whole different thing. Um, it's a whole different thing. Um, you smell nice. Hmm. Yeah, so the vibe and aesthetic. So we see the whole Y2K thing like all the time. Like, um, the one that comes to my head immediately is Fake Mink, who I think is nailed the aesthetic aspect, but I like without throwing shade, I don't think his music that he produces is very good. I don't think he reached, I don't think he put in the work to become a producer that can actually produce gracefully. Um, and that doesn't mean he's not a good artist. He's obviously a good artist and he understands product and aesthetic and everything like that. But that album he made, I bought it on CD, I pre ordered it, and I listened to it and I didn't like it at all. Um, anyway, it doesn't matter, not about him. But I don't currently think of anyone who's the 2012, 2013, 2011 kind of aesthetic, like LMFAO kind of vibe. Um, I think it's recent enough where that whole loop hasn't come around yet. I think it might be coming around soon, and that's something I would want to take advantage of. Obviously, you see glimpses of it, but nothing like too major. And obviously, I wouldn't want to be like LMFAO. You don't want to just copy people. It has to be your own unique thing. It has a lot to do with taste. Uh, so, what that looks like exactly yet, I don't know. But I think a big one is I want to get a fringe reminiscent of like Justin Bieber during that era, like the kind of bowl cut, kind of side swept fringe. Um, I think I can't think of anyone who has that now. And so that would be a way to become part of, to identify Eden Vice, I guess. Um, I love wearing sunglasses, so sunglasses could be an aspect. Um, eyeliner, maybe. I don't know. I need to try these things. Um, obviously, wearing black, but I think black with highlights of color, like whether it's colorful bracelets or colorful um, underwear underneath the black clothes, or like, it's hard to explain. Maybe I need to make like a Pinterest, not a Pinterest, yeah, a Pinterest collage or something. Um, but that's what I'm in the midst of figuring out, I guess. Is creating a product, I guess, which is Eden Vice, and so that gives something people can attach to and want to be a part of, and it separates me from the art. Blah 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 blah. Um, so that's my current plan, and then as for like music specifically, um, obviously I made that first album, which I am very proud of and I love it. It means a lot to me. But I can do better. I can do better. I can do better. And I need to raise the bar every time. So this next one, I can already tell has a bit more grace in how I'm doing it. I'm doing it a lot quicker and a lot, because obviously I understand how to do everything now. I'm not learning. Obviously I'm always learning, but like I'm not learning from scratch. So it's coming a lot easy. And the first album was kind of like an origin story, I guess, exploring the unconscious and confronting the self or the ego and overcoming it and realizing that my purpose isn't in other people or, um, ego things. It's about the journey and music. And so this next album is going to be about what I've been talking about this whole video, which is about penetrating the cultural zeitgeist and becoming a part of the cultural zeitgeist. And to do that, I need to, one, have an understanding of culture, have taste, and then also gracefully kind of do it in a way where people can resonate with it. And so the album is going to be about Eden Weiss kind of trying to find his footing in that. It's kind of like this meta self-aware thing, I guess. I've got the song Suspiria, which is about trying to make people move with music, and then Hot Bodies, which is like basically a club song, I guess. And yes, and the aesthetic for this album is, if the first one was kind of black and white, but also the colors of the rainbow, and Alice in Wonderland, that was kind of the vibe, and sparkles and glass. This next one, the aesthetic is black and red instead of black and white, black and red. What that means, figure it out. And I guess green as well as a third color. Black, red, green, and white, or silver or gold. Very Christmas vibes. Christmas is definitely a huge inspiration, but I don't want it to be too Christmassy, because then it's like it becomes something that I don't want it to be. The vibe is also this rabbit. Yeah, that's the vibe. Oh, what's that filmmaker? David Lynch. First album was like Tim Burton. This one's more David Lynch. Yes. So I think the overarching meaning I want the second album to have is that Eden Weiss has been trying so hard to be something, to become something that fixes things, if that makes sense. And the message in the end is to not change yourself to fit in, or to kind of appease other people, because that's not grace. It's being yourself so unapologetically that people can't help but look, kind of thing, because that's truly inspiring. And so a lot of the songs will be Eden Weiss trying different things, whether that's like different genres. Like I have a rap song, which is kind of silly, but it's meant to be like that. And by the end of it, he's like, I want the last song, I think, to be, on the last album, the last song was Learning Grace. I think the last song on this album, I want it to be called just Grace or something, which is obviously a reference to you, yeah. And I'm also telling a kind of narrative with the album covers. The first album, it's Alice holding an empty cup, surrounded by spiders and darkness. Alice from Alice in Wonderland, and she's made out of glass, which is a reference to a lyric, or a few lyrics, where I refer to glass-shaped people, and it's the idea that people are like glass because you can either look at it or look through it. You can look at it surface level, or you can look through it and see the whole world reflected inside of it. Really deep stuff. So that's the first album cover. And then the second one, which I don't think, I've posted it on one of my accounts, but I haven't like attached it to any songs yet. But it's Grace holding a little angel with a broken wing, a glass angel. So it's kind of like Grace is now protecting me, or it's trying to protect me. But the angel's eyes are closed and it's praying to something else, and it's got a broken wing, and that's meant to be me, obviously. Also, the empty cup in the Alice in Wonderland thing, that's like a reference to in tarot, your cup is like your emotions, and so an empty cup would be having no emotion, or like you're not being fulfilled emotionally. So it's kind of like that album's me learning how to fill my own cup. I think the card is temperance. Anyway. So the second album cover, Grace holding me as an angel, praying to something else, and with my eyes closed, and Grace is trying to hold me and like protect me and carry me through the red and black. And so the next album cover, wow, we're really looking to the future here. The third album, I don't know what it's going to be about necessarily, but I know that the album cover is going to be a gold rabbit, I think, or a glass rabbit. I like gold because, or mercury, like a, because it's kind of a reference to alchemy, and like there's a whole transformation from glass to gold, glass being fragile, gold being like solid and just surface level, where the inside isn't even penetrable, but that could be read wrong, so I don't know yet. But also gold is the same color as gray, so it's like me and Grace have like merged into one. What do you think about that? Yeah. And yeah, but that's obviously way a lot in the future. Um, there's also an idea that I have in action at the moment on the second album where um, the songs are me, but or Eden Vice, and then there'll be songs that are from the voice of this mystery kind of thing that we don't know yet, which is going to be you, by the way, which is Grace. But another name for it in the album is the Ghost of Future Past. It was originally the Ghost of Christmas Future, which is a reference to another Charles Dickens book, The Christmas Carol. Because in the first album, Great Expectations is a reference to a Charles Dickens book, so I wanted to kind of carry that theme. But I think the Christmas word being in the title is like a bit much, so I renamed it to my own thing, Ghost of Future Past, which is basically saying it's like a spirit from the future visiting me, right? To like warn me or tell me something or whatever, maybe guide me. Whether that stays or not, I'm not sure, but the album plans to kind of be like a dialogue between me and that, where I'm trying to like not appease it, but like I'm trying to do things from a human level, like without this greater perspective, and this thing is basically telling me like you're rushing, like like it's trying to nurture me. Um and then Mad Mirth also comes in and does the opposite. So it's kind of like a battle between the good and the evil, I guess, voices kind of being like, this is what you should do, no, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. So Mad Mirth is like, no, you need to sing about drugs and bitches and sex. That's what's going to get you there. And then I do like that really kind of cringy rap song. And then within the song, I'm like, this is really cringe, but it's like this kind of self-aware thing where it's like Eden Vice is trying to try different things, and that kind of gives me the excuse to make these really kind of poppy or like highly produced songs, which I enjoy doing. Yeah, so that's kind of it. Also, I made these bootleg CDs of the first album, and I made I think 4 of them, and I gave them away. And now I'm making 6 more currently to give out to other people that have asked for one, and so that's kind of cool. So if you watch this and you want one, leave a comment below and let me know, and I can make you one. It's for free, unless you want to pay me for it, which I will reject. I will reject payment because, yeah, I'm not doing it for money. And yeah, I think the biggest challenge for me was the whole being perceived thing. I think it was in my nature to kind of, well, it's in everyone's nature to care a lot about what people think about you. But for me, I think I wanted to have control, or at least I thought I had control about how people see me. But I guess coming to terms with the fact that no matter how controlled you are, no matter how much effort you put into one specific vibe, no one, like, it's up to the other person to see you that way too. And that's expecting a lot. It's a great expectation to expect people to kind of see you for how you see yourself, kind of thing. And you're always going to be misinterpreted. Um, Most of the time, the wrong way, because people interpret you how, um, in a way that makes them feel better about themselves. We all do that. And so, yeah, I guess coming to terms with that and learning, I guess, to be comfortable in who I am and my taste, and trusting my taste and myself and everything I've been through. And um, yeah, I think I can confidently say I've achieved that. I think what made me realize that recently, because it took a long time, like, it doesn't happen overnight. But I was at the movie theater in Switzerland watching Spider Man, and I wasn't wearing anything weird. I was dressed normal, and I was sitting by myself, like in a row in the theater. I was by myself on the whole row, and then these two like teenage girls came and sat, like maybe 5 chairs down from me, and I looked at them once when they came in, um, and then I was watching the movie, and then while I was watching the movie, I saw a flash turn on, like, from the right, directed directly fucking at me. And it was like a video, not a photo, because it didn't do the instant like ching. It did like the constant whatever. And they obviously didn't mean to do that, and so she like put it down really quickly, and there was like a little bit of commotion. Um and I didn't immediately assume anything, but I was like, oh, that's weird. It was probably an accident, whatever, who cares? But then it happened again. The other friend did it. Both of them fucking had their flash on accidentally. Like, how fucking retarded can you be? But then her friend did it, like, same commotion, whatever. And then I was like, okay, like, they're obviously trying to film me. And then, obviously your head starts going, what's wrong with me? What, do I look weird? Am I weird? Am I sitting weird? Like, am I doing something wrong? And then I caught that and I went, hold on a minute. I will probably never know why they're filming me. Well, I know for a fact I'm not gonna know. I'm gonna ask them. They're not gonna tell me. So who cares? You know? Like, I like who I am. I don't think there's anything wrong with me. Um, I feel comfortable in who I am. So someone else doing that, that's a reflection of them. That's not a reflection of me. They're the weird ones. They're the weird ones for recording someone. And that was a huge thing for me, because I was like, wow, because I felt so good after doing that. And I thought, you know what, like, if I ever do, um, make something significant that gets me known, like, that shit's gonna happen all the time. So I need to be able to handle it, and my nervous system needs to be able to handle it. And so it was kind of a good exposure moment for me, because I was like, wow. And I actually came away from it feeling pretty good about myself. And that's something I'm proud of, I guess. Um, yeah. It'd be funny if, like, they weren't even filming me. They were filming, like, some freaking, like, ghoul, or, like, a dog that was, like, running around that I didn't even notice or something. I don't fucking know. Doesn't matter. But yeah. Ever since I found Grace, we have been helping each other, haven't we? Yes. Okay. Well, that's enough, I think. Been yapping for half an hour. Oh my god. Thanks for watching if you watched. Um, If you have any ideas or suggestions, leave them in the comment below. And I'll see you in the next video. Unless I die in a freak accident, and then I'll never see you again. And then no one will ever, 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 ever remember who Eden Vice was. But I doubt it. Guys, hear me now. I will not rest. I will not sleep. I will not give up until Eden Vice makes it... Actually, no, hold on. Let me be realistic about this. What even does realistic mean? Like, let's be for real. Okay. I will not rest until Eden Vice, I see Eden Vice on a billboard. Yeah, fuck it. Eden Vice on a billboard. When I see that, I will know I can rest on my hill and I can rest on the sunset. Yeah, okay. Goodbye. Farewell, farewell, farewell.